Hey friends, welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I just kind of did like a get ready with me, trying a couple new products. I have some Milani new highlighters. I have an e.l.f. primer that I'm trying out. So you'll see in the video that it kind of turns very Milani. Nonetheless, it's still fun to film. And I like the way the look came out. I have a bright lip on, which is new. And so without further ado, go ahead and watch the video. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Have a good one, guys. So first, I'm going to start off with the e.l.f. Aqua Primer Mist. I've never used it before. I sprayed it on my hand the other day. And I feel like it's like really disperses a lot of product, so I'm gonna try it. Oh yeah, it does. Ooh, I have a very wet face, so I'm gonna take my beauty blender and kind of disperse it. We'll see how I like it. Maybe I probably wouldn't spray it on after, because I'm trying to find an alternative to my Smashbox primer water. I still have a lot of this, but I mean, I probably just gonna have the best luck with like Urban Decay. Maybe like the Milani one? I don't know. I kind of started off cheap and we'll go from there. Alright. So I have the Milani Retouch Eraser Light Lifting Concealer. I'm going to apply just a little bit underneath my eyes before I do my foundation. I find that if I do this, I don't use as much foundation under my eyes, and then I don't have like creasing. The only problem with this Milani concealer is you have to shake it up. I've never had one that's like you have to shake up so bad. So I'll place this under here. I have a couple new products, as I said in the intro. A couple new products to try. Some I'm like super excited about. Some are not like exactly new. I think the only thing that's new are two things, but everything's new to me. So I'm going to use my Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation in the shade Light, and pump some here on my beauty blender and distribute the little bit that I need, because this goes a long way. A tiny bit more foundation and put it in a couple different spots that I need a little bit more. Not very much. I'm just gonna... Alright, so I've done my foundation. With that foundation, I feel like it was kind of, it's like a learning curve. I've had it for quite some time, but since I've been using it, I've kind of had to learn to use it almost, because it is a very full coverage concealer foundation. So I feel like I do like it. I have to let it sit for a minute, and sometimes I feel like it almost... maybe it doesn't go with my skin sometimes, so I keep trying it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. Every time I try it, I'm like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. So we'll see how it goes today. I've got a different powder I'm gonna try with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows with my e.l.f. brow pencil in the shade Natural Brown, Natural Brown. So I'll be right back. So I've done my brows. I think I put too much brow gel in them, but anyhow, I have the Milani eyeshadow primer here. I'm going to apply that, and I recently purchased a new e.l.f. palette. They are new to me. I mean, they are fairly new, but I got one that I haven't really seen. It's called Rose in the Air. I haven't really seen a lot of people use this one, so I'm really excited to play with that. And then I also have an e.l.f. palette that I'm going to incorporate in, because it has some nice soft pink shades in it too. And it has a little bit lighter ones too, so I can kind of mix that into the bunch. And we will play with that. I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild palette, and I'm going to take this shade here. And just kind of... I'm going to place it here. I'm going to do the brow baking technique that I've done in the past, because I want to play with these colors that are in here, the purples and kind of the shimmers, but I don't want it to go too high up to my brow. So I'm just going to take a crease blending brush, and I'm first going to pop into this kind of little like dusty lilac shade, and I'm going to kind of play with that in the crease area. I'm gonna pat it into the crease so that I can get like the most color payoff, and then we'll blend it out. This is kind of like an angled kind of a crease brush. I have a whole bunch of these in different kind of sizes. They're one of my favorite kind of brushes, but they're kind of unconventional because you wouldn't really think of how to use them. When I figured out the way, I've been like kind of not going back, because you can like put this end into your crease and just blend away. Alright, so there's the lilac shade I put in the crease, and I'm gonna take a kind of a dome crease brush. It's really small, but I want it for like precision. So I'm gonna take the kind of purpley shade here, this kind of burgundy pink. I'm not sure how to just explain that. Probably burgundy. I'm kind of dusting a little bit off, and I'm gonna kind of play with this here in the outer corner. I'm not really sure how this burgundy color is actually playing out very well. Like, it's kind of a sheer toned color. So I'm gonna see what we have in this palette to work with. Maybe I'll take this brown tone shade and work that into the crease a little bit with a fluffier crease brush. Alright, so I added that kind of a brown tone to this crease area. I'm not really sure how this is kind of turning out, because this shade right here didn't work out very well. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this e.l.f. palette, and I'm going to take this kind of pink peachy shade. That's very skin tone color. I'm just going to take that and just kind of help blend everything out. Maybe we can try and like fix this up. I will try my best. I went ahead and just added a touch more of this brown tone here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take like a small shadow brush and apply some of this kind of interesting copper toned shadow. It's this one right here, and I'm just going to take it on a small shadow brush. It's really like creamy, this shade, so I wonder if it's really pigmented. And I'm just going to kind of place this on the outer lid area and kind of blend it inward. I'm really loving this shade right here. It's so pretty. It's so cool. This shade here, and place that on the inner half of the lid, on the inner corner and such. And I think that we can call this a look. Alright, so I finished the eye look. The shadow actually came out pretty good. The one shade kind of didn't work very well, but I had to kind of go over it, so I think it turned out really nice as it is. It's kind of more of a fall tone look. I think that's just based on the palette that I chose to use. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my liner. I've got the Catrice Glam and Doll Super Black Liner. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and put some lashes on, and I will be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and I finished up the eye look. I did a little bit of lower lash stuff. I kind of mixed the brown and like lilac together, and I think that I like the way that it turned out. It was kind of an interesting experiment to mix the light shade with the dark shade, but I think it looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and conceal under my eyes real quick with the Milani concealer that I used earlier. Like I said, you have to mix this up because for some reason it gets really liquidy. I just kind of take the lid off and then just hold it like this. You have to be careful though. And then squirt a tiny bit out and dab it under my eye. I don't know how come this video has become very Milani heavy, but I've got the Milani powder foundation that I'm going to try. And I'm just going to take that with a big old fluffy brush so that it's not like super like full coverage-esque. know it's not very ideal to use powder foundation under your eyes, but I feel like sometimes, depending on the powder, it's alright. It's alright. Alright, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild contour palette in Caramel Toffee. And just, this is my wet brush from Wish. I'm going to take this side and set my under eye just real quick. Alright, for highlighter, I have these two Milani highlighters that I got. They're, I think that they are new. This one says Hypnograph Light, Hypnotic Lights. So this one's Hypnotic Lights, and this one is, oh, they're both Hypnotic Lights. So this one's Beaming Light, and this one's Flashing Light. So I think I'm going to take Flashing. It's like a pinky, peachy gold kind of color. The packaging of Milani products is so beautiful. Look at that. Ooh, it's kind of feels really chalky. It's very gold. Let's see. It's like it's gold, but it kind of seems like it has like a pink undertone. So I'm just gonna take this little angle brush, swirling up. It's like pink on the brush. So I'm gonna pat some here on my cheek, just at the highest points. Yeah, it's pretty gold. Pretty gold. We'll open the other one and swatch it, but so far this one is very gold. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously color is personal preference, so I'm not actually mad about it, because I like it because it's like one of those highlights that, like, when you're looking at certain angles you can't even notice it, but when you're like hit, you're like BAM! That's how I feel about it. So let's open the other one. I had other things next to it, but I was like, glitter or something or another. I didn't know if it was, I was just like, I just want to get these. I'll get the other things later. So this one, it feels creamier. It's really cool. It's very blue. I'm going to kind of build up the swatch just so you can see it. It's really cool looking. I'm not really sure. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Almay jelly things that I got. So that is the highlight. It's very blue. Very blue. Got me a dot from a pen. I'm just gonna go with a Milani blush because that's just how we go. We be rolling with Milani. I just got the Tea Rose blush number 8. Swirling my brush around. I really love these blushes. It's crazy of how long I've had them and how many times I've used them. The blush is the blush with the rose in it is not really like making a big dent. Maybe that's just kind of how it fades or something. It just looks really doesn't really go with the eye look, but I really wanted to try this. The Soft Matte Lip Cream from NYX in SMLC 17. So I've always been on a, so that is the lip. It is kind of bright for the look, but we can do whatever we want in our makeup land. So that is the look. So far this doesn't feel that bad. When it comes to lips, I am normally a stickler when it comes to like liquid lipsticks. I don't like anything that dries super matte on my lips or has like a strange feel. But anyhow, this is the end of that video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It was fun to film, and if you did like it, go ahead and give it a great big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Thanks for watching, guys.